How's it going, my people? Welcome to another episode of Wired Up TV. This is your boy Wired Up, and I hope everything is going good in your guys' life. Hope you guys are keeping your fucking hands on the motherfucking steering wheel. Hope you guys are keeping your eyes on the road, not going astray, keeping your things intact, taking care of your business, your family, your wife, your husband, your dogs, your mom and dad, your grandma, whatever. Guys, handle your shit. What's up, y'all? I've been thinking about you guys, and I got a diamond for you guys, man. I got something for you guys. I was speaking to one of my people who is very close to Tupac Shakur. Now, I'm not going to say the person's name because they asked me not to. And I'm also going to tell you that they not work for Death Row. They never worked for Death Row Records. So you guys can stop it with the guessing. Okay? Now, this person told me a story. It was very interesting. I've been talking to this person for about a year almost, and we just chop it up. We're friends. I can call him my acquaintance, and he gave me permission without me even asking to tell this story, and it's an honor for me to tell this story. Now, this is what happened, guys. Now, this gentleman does not really believe Tupac is alive, right? Wait a minute. He doesn't really believe, but he has a lot of doubts. And he said that this, when it happened, he thought it was weird, strange. When he passed away, he forgot all about it because he was so heartbroken with his passing. But about a year and a half later after that's when he started doubting his actual death because he thought back on this story right here. He's told me the story before hundreds of times. I love hearing it. Now I'm going to share it with you guys. Now, he said about 4 months, prior, maybe 3 months, I think, prior to Tupac passing away, because he was with Tupac as soon as he got out of prison. He was kicking all 95 and all 96. And he said he saw it, how it was in the beginning when he got there. It was beautiful. Tupac and Dre got along. Man, they were shaking hands. They were hearing music. They was drinking. They were smoking. They were celebrating. Once Tupac started to shine, things started to change. Now, nobody is perfect. Tupac did not turn on Dr. Dre and Snoop. Tupac was loyal to the bone. But their problem was that Tupac was cocky. And Tupac was like, you know what? I'm selling the most albums. I'm the movie star. I'm going to run the show. This is what's going to crack. Right? And they didn't really like that. They didn't like somebody that according to them, wasn't even the one that started Death Row coming in and taking over. They didn't like that. But anyways, this is a story. So when things started to kind of decline, this is around when this started to happen. He said they were at Tupac's home. Everybody was sitting on the couches or whatever, and him and Tupac were chopping it up about something. He said he can't remember what they were talking about, but all he could remember is that they were eating pizza and drinking soda. He said he remembers the phone ringing because he grabbed it and passed it to Pac. Pac took a while to answer the phone because they were watching the basketball game. The Bulls were playing. Michael Jordan. Pac loved, basketball and shit. He couldn't play it very much, but he liked watching it. Now, he picks up the phone, all natural. Tupac had Tupac was the kind of cat. Tupac was the kind of cat that really didn't, really didn't care who was around. He was real. He didn't hide anything. He wore his emotions on his sleeve. Now, when he got phone calls, you can hear, you know what I'm saying, what he was talking about. He wasn't shy. He didn't shy away and kind of hide. And and if you guys can do your research, you see the interview when he's doing with Vibe magazine. When he answers the phone and he's talking to Suge, telling Suge to bring his little homie home, which I believe was Muta, and he's just talking on the phone freely. So he didn't really care, right? Well, he said it started beautiful. He wasn't actually paying attention or eavesdropping, but he can hear certain words and he can remember, cool, how are you, awesome, laughing, cool, calm, collective talk. But it changed from that to him jumping off the couch and storming to one of the rooms. Now he slammed the door, but the door hit, boom, and opened a little bit more. So the door was cracked, so you can still hear what Pop was saying. Now, I asked him this question, and I know there's never such thing as a stupid question, but when you're a Tupac fan, you can't help sometimes but ask, questions that don't really make sense. So I asked, why don't you go eavesdrop on him and hear what he was saying? He goes, Wired, dude, motherfuckers don't do that. Do you do that? When you're with your homies and he picks up the phone, he starts screaming and goes to, do you go here and see what he's talking about? No, we didn't think Tupac was going to die. We didn't think this was an eventful event here. We didn't think nothing of it. We were just living life and it was natural. Now, that being said, he can hear words from the room. And what he can remember is that he heard, fuck you, who the fuck told you, where is she, and Aunt. He heard Aunt 4 or 5 times, right? So he's thinking he's talking about Gloria. You know what I'm saying? Because they were having trouble with, some of Tupac's cousins kind of going off astray. And this was already getting closer to Tupac's demise already. This was probably about a month away from his demise, right? A month and a half. But like I said, my boy was telling me that this was kind of, things were starting to go downhill, about 4 months before he died, right? With death row and all that. Anyways, back to the story. So he's in there for about an hour. It's not coming out. He finally, after about an hour in there screaming, or 45 minutes in there screaming, he comes out the room. When he comes out the room, he storms into the room, throws the phone onto the fucking leather couch, and I can still remember it gets stuck on the corner of the leather couch. Boop, just like the talking part of the phone gets stuck right there with the antenna sticking out. I remember laughing. He came, he sat down, picked up the phone, put it on the table, and sat down. And he continued to watch the game. But ever since that day, I did not see any more happiness in this man's face. Now, I don't know what the extent of that call was, but I didn't see any more happiness in his face. You know what I'm saying? That day, it was still okay. He was still whatever. But I didn't see him until about 3 days after that. And, that's what he was telling me. He didn't see him after 3 days after that. And when he saw him, he just had this gloomy look where he just looked depressed, like he wasn't happy, or like he had a lot of things on his mind, stressed out or worried or something. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't deserve what he had. That's just the emotions I got because that's the emotions he got because he remembers asking him plenty of times, "Are you okay? Are you all right? What's going on, man?" Boom, boom. And Pac kind of just pushing it away. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, he said, 3 days goes by, he sees them, boom, 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 they kick it, he goes home. About another 2 days go by, Pac comes over to pick him up again. Now it's getting closer to the Vegas scene, mind you guys. Okay, he says he picks him up, Pac goes, picks him up, he gets in the passenger seat, right? There's nobody in the car but Pac. He gets in the passenger seat. He sits down, they chop it up about what they're going to do, right? Pac sparks up a cigarette. He gives him a cigarette. He sparks up a cigarette and they take off. While they're taking off, you know what I'm saying? This is the car that I guess he never seen Pac in before. So he's checking it out or whatever. And Pac has some in the little slot of the car. Where you can put shit in the slot of the car. And he looked in there and there was a little kind of plastic case, see-through case, where you can see nose rings and things like that in there. But it was empty. I think there was one nose ring in there or whatever. So he picked it up and kind of made fun of Pac for it, threw it in the back seat, and he grabbed what was under that. And he noticed that it was about 4 calling cards to other countries. Those calling cards that you could use to call Mexico or other countries and stuff like that. He said they had a bunch of flags on it. He couldn't remember what the flags were, but he just remembers that it had a bunch of flags on it. Now, with this being said, it didn't really catch his attention. He didn't ask what they were. He just threw them back down there and paid no mind, right? He paid no mind to it. Now they keep driving. They go on throughout their day. He says they're on their way to Can-Am studio. They already have a full car. Some of the outlaws are in there, and he said that he stops by at a store, right? He stops by at a store. When he goes to that store, he said he comes out and he has about four disposable cameras with him, and he gets in the car and tosses them. Right, and he goes, man, we need to take more pictures and stuff like that. And he could just remember the outlaws giving him a hard time, basically, riffing him, talking about again, or he tripping and stuff like that. Like he had already done this, but he stressed it out to him to let him know that he wanted to take pictures with him. So he didn't really think it was kind of weird. He thought it was funny shit, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. They said they went to Can-Am. They took some pictures on the way over there. Pac took a couple pictures in front of the car, and there was some fans and stuff like that. And they ended up going to Can-Am Studios. And he said the night was getting short. There was a couple people in the studio. There's people falling asleep in that bitch, smoking, drinking. Pac gave a little speech or whatever to some of the engineers and stuff like that. And he sits next to him, and he tells him, "Look, man, we need to take pictures, bro. You know what I'm saying? I need to come get you and stuff like that. We need to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Gather up the homies or whatever. Hey, we can take pictures because you never know when a nigga gonna leave or when a motherfucker gonna be gone. And he remembers him stressing, telling Pac, shut up. It really didn't really resonate to him because Pac always talked like that and they fooled around like that. And so did he. He talked like that sometimes. So it wasn't a attention getting kind of shit. Just another day chopping it up with Pac, I guess. Right? So this continues to go on. He says he don't see him for about a week or less than that. About 4 days. He says he sees him again. Right? He sees him again. And he remembers that he remembers that he gets picked up again. This time he had some girl in the car. She didn't look like a model. She'd never seen her before. And he could tell that Pac wasn't trying to really get at her or anything like that. They were just like cool, like homies and shit like that, right? So I get in the front seat, she gets in the back. Or the guy gets in the front seat, the girl gets in the back. I'm going in deep in this story, guys. So I'm thinking it's me now. that bitch. Anyways, so she gets in the back, he gets in the front seat, he says, right? Damn, this blunt's getting short, guys. This is getting to the roach. Guys, I'm going to have to stop it right here, guys. I'm sorry, gentlemen. We're going to probably have to continue this. I'm just fucking with y'all, man. So anyways, she gets into the back seat, and he gets into the front or whatever, like that. And this is what stood out to him. He goes, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? They're driving or whatever like that and stuff like that. And he goes, hey, man, I need you to give me a second. I'm about to stop right here and make a phone call. He gets off and goes to a payphone. Takes those cards with him that were still in the car, he noticed. Takes them with him. It makes a call on the payphone or some shit like that. He didn't notice. He was there for 45 minutes. He got off, smoked a cigarette, went in the store, grabbed some stuff to eat or whatever, took a dump, came out, and they left. On the way home, he remembers Tupac vaguely saying something that, hey, man, if something were to ever happen to me, bro, you know what I'm saying? I will fucking bust a motherfucking Machiavelli. Right? And I'll put somebody out. I'll put an artist out to say what I want to say and attack motherfuckers how I want to attack. And he started laughing. And he even said, I'll even use my motherfucking voice to fuck with people. I'll leave you with that, guys. And use your guys' imagination. This is one of the stories I've always loved hearing. You know what I'm saying? And it makes you think that all this happened. You know what I'm saying? Guys, keep doing your research. Let me know what you guys know. Who is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? I've heard of Casanova the Don before. Is that who he's talking about? You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck was he calling? Those calling cards. That story gives me the chills every time I hear it, man. Because it lets you know Tupac was planning to fake his death. Tupac is alive. And he's well. He was planning on this shit, guys. So, guys, remember, keep positive, y'all, and keep searching for the truth. Never be afraid to be different. Keep searching for the truth and keep searching for knowledge, guys. And as always, y'all, keep your hands on the steering wheel and stay positive. Smoke one for your boy and stay wired up. Peace.